Alright, welcome back to the channel, y'all. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get right into it. Listen, this Young Thug trial, the RICO joint is off to a crazy start. Okay, shout out to CNN for all this info we got right here. Prosecutor says that Young Thug was proclaimed leader of the violent street gang at racketeering trial opening. In other words, he's the big dog. He's the head honcho. He's the one we want. That's the reason why we gave all them damn deals to everybody else. You know, cop a plea, get out, get out. Give us some testimony, get out, get out. That's the same reason why we had Gunna on the stand saying, yes, ma'am. Is YSL a gang? Yes, ma'am. Is it true that you have knowledge of members of this gang that committed criminal acts in furtherance of this gang? Yes, ma'am. It's going crazy. So here's where we're at after the first day has started. Prosecutors accused the Grammy Award winning rapper Young Thug of leading a criminal street gang that committed murder and a slew of violent crimes in the Atlanta area over the past decade during their opening statement of his racketeering trial on Monday. That was November 27th, 2023. First day of trial. Fulton County Chief Deputy District Attorney Adrian Love said YSL is the acronym for Young Thug's label, Young Stoner Life Records. In fact, doesn't really stand for that. It actually stands for Young Slime Life, an Atlanta-based criminal street gang that is led by the rapper and is affiliated with the National Bloods gang. YSL operated as a pact, she said, and Young Thug was King Slime. His home was allegedly filled with drugs and guns, and gang members would reach out for permission to kill and to provide him with stolen items. So he was sitting at the top of the hill running this whole criminal organization. They created a crater in the middle of Fulton County's Cleveland Avenue community that sucked in the youth, the innocent, and even the lives of some of its youngest members, Love said. Young Thug, whose given name is Jeffrey Williams, is one of the music industry's most innovative and influential hip-hop artists, pushing not just musical boundaries, but often cultural ones too, including his decision to wear a purple dress for the cover of his 2016 album, Jeffrey. If you remember clearly, years later, he walked that back. Thug said he was wearing a dress because he was carrying a stick. Stick means a rifle, an AR-15, an AK-47, a chopper, a big long gun, right? That's why he was in a dress. So we mistook him for some, I don't know, member of the LGBTQ community or cross-dresser, confusing his sexuality with his dress. But the real purpose he had the dress on was because he had a rifle under that dress. He was charged last year alongside more than 24 other people under the state's expansive Racketeer Influenced and Corruptions Organizations Act, known as RICO. It's the same law Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Mae Willis used to indict former President Donald Trump and 18 co-defendants in August in connection with their alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election. A lot of people are saying, yo, get Donald Trump back in office, because the same way he pardoned Kodak Black and commuted his sentence, being that he is under or been afflicted by the same charges as Young Thug, is no question that he would probably turn around and commute Young Thug's sentence as well. That's up in the air and neither here nor there. We got to see how these trials turn out too, because if Donald Trump ends up behind bars, he sure as hell won't be able to do anything for Young Thug. But mark my words, Donald Trump is not going to end up behind bars. His money too long and his influence is too strong. Several defendants took plea deals last December in this Young Thug's case, including Gunna, while others were severed from the case. Young Thug is among 6 defendants who have pleaded not guilty to all the charges and are standing trial in an Atlanta courtroom. Damn, Thug pleaded not guilty to all the charges. He still insists that YSL is a label, record label that does strictly music. But his right-hand man, Gunna, got on the stand, and we saw the video like everybody else saw the video. When they asked him, is YSL a gang? He said yes. So obviously there is a difference between what Gunna thinks YSL is versus what Thug is trying to have the state believe that YSL is. Young Thug's defense attorney, Brian Steele, has said that the rapper is innocent of all these charges, and previously he told CNN that he committed no crime whatsoever. The prosecution's opening statement marked the start of what's expected to be a month-long trial that will be a test of the state's expansive RICO law. Prosecutors' highly controversial decision to use rap lyrics as evidence and of Willis's reputation ahead of Donald Trump's upcoming trial for that. The first day of opening statement already saw several delays, prompted first by a juror issue and then by defense attorney complaints. Already, the trial has featured heated exchanges between prosecutors and Young Thug's defense attorney, who made a motion for this trial to be ended up as a mistrial, but that was denied by the judge. Let me say this. Sitting there watching the whole thing and watching them go through the lyrics to his song and then to his songs and then try to pin it to actual events, I don't think that's solid enough to hold him in there. That's no evidence. For instance, somebody who writes raps can actually watch events go down in their city, around their state, in the United States of America, in different hoods. All you got to do is watch the news and then have some level of street connection, and then you just put it in a song, right? So it'll be more like art imitating life. But in court, they're trying to say that what Young Thug did was actually carry out these acts or ordered these acts to be carried out and then wrote songs about them. So that was his coded way of letting everybody know that we the ones turning up around here. I'm taking ownership for it. We the ones doing this. We the ones shot up that car. We the ones killed that dude. And he's putting it in songs. See me in the street if you don't believe me. I don't know if that's going to fly in court. I don't think that if that's the case, then a lot of other rappers are going to be going down in short order. So Marquavius Huey, Demonte Kendricks, known as Yak Gotti, Quamarvius Nichols, pardon me with these names, Rodelius Ryan, and Shannon Stillwell. Those are the other 5 defendants who are standing 10 toes down, and they're going through this trial as well. Everybody else was either severed and will have trial at a later date, or are caught up already in others where they have already been hit with life sentences and double life. And these few right here are the last ones standing. Stillwell's attorney, Maxwell Sharp, delivered his opening statement on Monday afternoon, saying that his client was not guilty of any of these charges that he's facing, including the murder charge. Shortly after court adjourned for the day, attorneys for other defendants are expected to deliver their additional statements starting Tuesday morning, which is November 28th of 2023. Love's opening statement honed in on the allegations that the defendants acted in ways that showed allegiance to the gang, often openly promoting and posting about the alleged gang activities, and were part of an unspoken agreement to participate in illegal activities stretching back as far as a decade as a part of this group. Her remarks included graphic photographs of dead men who were allegedly killed by YSL members, as well as a number of rap lyrics from the defendant that Love said bore a very eerie significance to crimes that were committed in real life. In other words, she's saying this ain't just rap. Look at what happened in this particular case right here, and then look at these lyrics. It's the same thing. These lyrics were describing this particular murder. That's what the prosecution was trying to pass off in the courtroom, right? The alleged criminal group began as ROC Crew. This is what she said, opening statement. The alleged criminal group, which is YSL, she's referring to, began as ROC Crew, Love said, which stands for Raised on Cleveland. And sometime in 2012, an internal rift among its members led to the creation of YSL, and Young Thug became its proclaimed leader. The evidence will show that these defendants, that the members and associates of YSL, they knew who their leader was, and they knew the repercussions of not obeying their leader. You will hear evidence that when members and associates of YSL got in trouble, got locked up, the first person they called was either Young Thug or one of his family members. But those conversations usually happen indirectly because the rapper knew that he needed to have distance between himself and the crimes members and associates of YSL were committing on behalf of the gang. Those crimes included armed robbery, hijacking, motor car theft, possession of a machine gun, and murder. The state is alleging that these defendants, they had an agreement, unspoken, but no less an agreement, to obtain property, things of value, cell phones, cars, stolen guns, through a pattern of illegal activities. Alleged members of the YSL street gang are also accused of shooting at the tour bus of rapper Lil Wayne while he was performing in Atlanta in April of 2015. Bullets for nothing except to show their dominance. This our city. You come through here, check in, or better be in our good graces type of thing. That act was intended to show their solidarity, their willingness to act on the behalf of their willingness to exact violence upon anyone who threatened the position of the criminal street gang calling itself YSL, or Young Slime Life. The part where they got to the 100 rounds in a Tahoe, let's talk about that. So among other alleged crimes, the defendants are accused of is the killing of Donovan Thomas. Donovan Thomas was an alleged member of a rival gang who was gunned down in 2015. In court documents, prosecutors alleged that Young Thug rented a car, and that car was used by YSL members in the killing of Donovan Thomas. For those of y'all who don't know, Donovan Thomas was also close to BrainFLoTv. And this is where the beef began between YFN and YSL, tearing up the city of Atlanta, according to prosecution. You'll hear evidence that after the murder of Donovan Thomas, no less than 50 shootings occurred over the course of the next several months. 50, she said, adding that some of those were retaliatory shootings. You'll hear evidence that hundreds of bullets were fired into cars, hundreds into homes, and into people as a result of that rift between Young Slime Life and with other people in the community. The YSL gang associate is expected to testify that Young Thug paid them money after the killing to go to Miami to lay low in the wake of Donovan Thomas's murder, is what the prosecution said. And on the video yesterday that we gave you guys, I told you that they have some stuff against Thugger, which is just circumstantial. But the one solid piece of thing they have against him is this individual who already they have said, yes, we were a part of plotting to murder him, Donovan Thomas, and we actually carried out the murder. and it was carried out at the request of Thugger. And he gave us. Now, I don't know if they're going to go in court and repeat this, that he was the one that requested that they kill him, but he gave us money to go lay low after that young man was killed. Right. And this is a YSL associate who is taking a plea deal for his testimony against Thug. Among the rap lyrics Love read aloud in court were the words 100 rounds in a Tahoe from a song that Young Thug released. Thomas, who was killed, he was in a Tahoe when he was gunned down. Damn. Through the music that he has been blessed with the opportunity to be able to release and gain wealth from through the music, through that blessing, the evidence will show that Jeffrey Williams led a group of people that wreaked havoc, utter havoc on Fulton County. Defense attorney questions the witness, went on to say, Shard, the attorney for Stillwell, who is also on trial and facing 2 murder charges among other counts, told the court on Monday that his client is innocent. 2 murder charges? My client is innocent. He's accused. Stillwell is the one who is accused of actually gunning down Thomas. 100 rounds in the Tahoe. The attorney said Stillwell in the past took responsibility and served time for drug charges that he had. These are in the past, telling the court that he turned to selling drugs to make money, to live, to pay rent, to eat, coming up out of poverty. Shard also attempted to poke holes in the state's murder allegations against his client. He pointed to key witnesses who helped to build the case, but who he said talked to authorities months after the killings and only after they faced jail time on other charges. He also said no shotgun residue was ever found on Stillwell's car after the second killing. My client has been charged with 2 separate murders. He's been wrongfully accused of 2 murders, and we plead absolutely not guilty. He's been charged with conspiracy to violate the RICO Act, and while he has sold marijuana in the past, those were his decisions for his benefits and had nothing to do with a gang organization with YSL or anyone else that's involved in this particular case. If you focus on where the state's evidence comes from, you will find that primarily it comes from the stories of men wearing blue, referring to the color of uniform at the local jail cell. I'm going to ask you to focus on things like science instead of stories. In other words, what the attorney was saying was they went into the jail cell, they grabbed a couple of snitches, they flipped them, and they gave them a deal in exchange for their information. These people are not credible. They could be making stuff up and sending someone away for a long time just so they can get their sentences commuted and they can get out of lockup. All right. So Young Thug's his tracks have landed him at the top of the charts, his music, multiple times, and he's collaborated with big name artists including Camila Cabello in Havana, Travis Scott, Drake, you name it. He won the Grammy for Song of the Year in 2019 for co-writing the hit track This Is America, along with Childish Gambino and Ludwig Göransson. A lot of people don't know that Young Thug actually was a part of This Is America with Childish Gambino. The 32-year-old rapper was initially charged and arrested May of 2022 for conspiring to violate the RICO statute and participating in criminal street gang activities. A lot of people are saying this is just another ploy for the government trying to bring down a successful young black man who's been able to reach back into the community and bring many other young black men with him out of poverty. Everybody is getting money. Everybody is signed to a deal. Everybody is living wealthy, healthy, okay, all this. And I guess you're not allowed to own that type of a business when you are from where he is from. That could be an excuse, because on the other side, the prosecution is saying it's the exact opposite. He had all the opportunities in the world to change his life, to get as far away from this as possible. Hell, go get a mansion out in Hollywood and stay out there in a gated stick community where celebrities only are allowed, and stay away from this. But no, you entrenched yourself in the city, and you've been taking ownership for all the stuff that's been going down by writing it into the lyrics of your songs. In a re-indictment that was filed August of 2022, prosecutors charged the artist with additional counts related to gang activity as well as drugs and firearms violation. The additional charges stem from a search warrant that was executed by authorities at his house, at Jeffrey's house, at Young Thug's house, or a house in which he was staying, where drugs and firearms were also found. This is what Steele told CNN affiliate WXIA, another news channel. Now, Thugger has been behind bars since his arrest last year, and his release, his latest album, Business is Business, from jail over the summer. And Business is Business is doing pretty well. I went and looked it up. Even just by YouTube numbers, every song on Business is Business is pushing over 500,000 and heading to 1 million, and some have made over 1 million already. And these are standing on their own individually songs. So his music is still doing good, which means his money will still be coming in. But at the end of the day, I think what he wants is his freedom. And he wants to be tried, get this over with, go ahead, do his time, whatever time they give him, and get out. Let's not forget, Young Thug is facing a max of 20 years. So he's not looking at like life in prison or anything. Before I go though, did y'all see the judge and the first day of trial? The judge shows up and spends a long time talking about his dog. I think it was his support dog or something, and how good his little doggy is, and nobody should feed the little doggy. And while the judge is talking, I'm looking over there and I noticed that the judge has a friggin' earring in his ear. I had never seen this shit before. A black man judge presiding over a RICO trial with a friggin' earring in his ear, and the earring was not the earring wasn't subtle. The earring looked like a hood ninja earring, something you'd wear to the club. I'm just saying, I don't know where this trial is going, but I intend to continue to follow it closely just for you. So click that subscribe button, but click the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on BrainFLoTv. I'll catch y'all on the next video. I'm out. Peace.